Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you an NFL Week 8 preview between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Seattle Seahawks. Now let's start with the Bengals in this game. Traveling out west to Seattle, coming off a bye. That's a tough thing right there in itself. One, going to Seattle. Two, coming off a bye in this new NFL. The Bengals have to make sure they come in and get Bernard Scott going. I think this is the game that Cedric Benson will miss due to suspension. So let's see if the Bengals come out and get Bernard Scott going in the ground game. Now let's say they can't run the football against Seattle, because Seattle, quiet as kept, has one of the tougher defensive front sevens in the league. What they can do to combat that is come in and stay in those 2-by-1 sets, those two wide receivers to one side, receivers to the other side with a tight end. They can widen out that Seahawks pressure and take advantage of the corners, the lack of. Trufon's going to be out. Thurman is going to be out as well. So they can have some opportunities to hit big plays deep down the field if they attack the flanks, but stay in those spread formations. One, is going to give Bernard Scott more room to run the football, and two, is going to open up more one-on-one opportunities to get more favorable matchups for the Bengals wide receivers, especially down the sidelines. Now you look at the defensive side of the football coming in for the Cincinnati Bengals. When stopping Seattle, is if Charlie Whitehurst is going to be back there, you have to get pressure on Whitehurst. And I know you have to get pressure on any quarterback, but Whitehurst is a guy that will put that ball up for grabs, and that plays into the hands of the Cincinnati Bengals, especially getting Adam Jones back this week. So look for him to see some action in dime situations to get him back out there on the field. So therefore, if Seattle spreads the football field, now you're well protected to cover those wide receivers. Now let's look at Seattle's game plan offensively. I would come in, and right now I don't know if Marshawn Lynch is going to be back there healthy, but he will sorely miss in that game versus the Browns. Now the Seahawks have to find some way to get Forsett and Washington opportunities in the ground game. Maybe not in a traditional way that you would do Marshawn Lynch. You have to find creative ways to make these guys effective. I think these guys are both excellent quick hitter type running backs. So you want to utilize a lot of traps, a lot of draws, a lot of misdirections, and a lot of off balance weak side running. That's going to help out that running game, and that's going to give Whitehurst more protection and more time in the pocket to find receivers down the field. Now defensively, coming to this matchup, Cincinnati is real basic. They stay in a lot of 2-by-1 sets. They also run a lot of off tackle. So I look for guys like Red Bryant to do a great job. He's not going to give you a lot of pass rush, but he does a great job of resetting the line of scrimmage and sealing the edge. He's going to have to seal the edge this week against the Seattle Seahawks. What I would against the Cincinnati Bengals, what I would do is flip him to different sides. Wherever the tight end side is lining up, I will put him on that side and have him keep the tight end busy or the offensive tackle busy and resetting that line of scrimmage. Also defensively, it's all about rolling coverage toward AJ Green. Since you're hurting at the corner spots, the safety play is going to have to be huge. That's Earl Thomas and also Cam Chancellor. Cam Chancellor has to start seeing what he hits and also bringing his arms with his shoulders. Don't come in there like a Scud missile. You're going to miss a lot of tackles that way. Now, some X factors in this ball game. The X factor for the Cincinnati Bengals has to be the entire team. They have to get off that bye week. They have to come out west of Seattle, where it's a tough place to play, and play as soon as the game starts. You can't just lull your way into the second half. That's the biggest X factor. X factor for the Seahawks will have to be the ground game. Leon Washington and also Justin Forsett has to do something on the ground in order to get Whitehurst more time back there in the pocket. This is a tough game to call, and I'm going with a team that's more balanced on offense. I'm going with the Bengals. I think they go out west after a bye and beat Seattle at home. I know there's three things that you do not want to bet against, but I think this is the team that can come out west and do so. For more NFL previews, visit footballgameplan.com/NFL or visit our YouTube channel at youtube.com/footballgameplan. And listen to the Football Game Plan radio show, which airs Saturdays 11 a.m. Eastern Time at blogtalkradio.com/footballgameplan.